watching India Today Global with me, Ishita Mitra. It's Tuesday afternoon in the Indian capital. Let's take a look at what's making news around the globe. Starting with the election chaos in Venezuela, opposition leader Maria Corneo Machado has now announced that with 73% of the votes counted, Edmundo Gonzalez had won the presidential election, receiving about 6.27 million votes. And this is in comparison to the incumbent president Nicolas Maduro's 2.75 million votes. However, the National Election Authority has declared Maduro as the winner with about 5.15 million votes. The disputed election outcome has sparked international concerns with calls for transparency coming from various global entities. All this while Maduro received congratulations from allies including China and Russia. Moving to the United Kingdom now, at least 2 were killed and 11 injured in a knife attack at a Taylor Swift-themed children's dance workshop in Southpost. A 17-year-old suspect has been arrested in the case and his weapon has been seized by the police. While the motive of this attack remains unclear, police say that it is currently not being treated as a terror-related incident. Moving to Israel now, tensions on the Lebanon border continue to rise. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed severe retaliation against Hezbollah. Large areas of northern Israel were engulfed by wildfire set off by rockets which were launched from Lebanon. Now this comes after a rocket strike that killed about 12 children in the Golan Heights. Hezbollah has denied any involvement in the attack, but situation remains volatile with daily exchange of fire between Hezbollah and IDF. But nobody wants the conflict to spill over. Diplomatic efforts are on to prevent a full-scale war, with the US and France pushing for a negotiated agreement. Some news from Bangladesh now. The government has officially acknowledged the deaths of around 150 people during recent student protests over the job quota system. The unrest began in universities and escalated into widespread violence against Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government. The government has declared a day of national mourning and urged religious institutions to pray for the victims which were killed during the violent protests. Now, despite the Supreme Court's decision on quota reform, some students continue to demand further accountability from Sheikh Hasina's government. On to Russia now. In a tragic incident, a train travelling from Kazan to Adler in southern Russia collided with a truck at a level crossing, causing about 8 carriages to derail. Now, the truck driver, who had ignored traffic signals, was critically injured in the crash, and approximately 140 people sustained injuries, with about 15, including 3 children, getting hospitalized. Coming to China now, Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is currently on an official visit to the country. She met with Chinese President Xi Jinping to discuss how to enhance the bilateral relations between the two countries. The leader highlighted the significance of the 20th anniversary of China-Italy strategic partnership and the 700th anniversary of Marco Polo's death. Both of them also emphasized on the need for mutual development, openness, and continued collaboration between Italy and China. Some more news from the country. China has allocated relief funds of around $70 million to support the recovery of 5 provinces impacted by the tropical storm Gaimi. The recovery efforts would include focusing on restoring damaged flood control, infrastructure, schools, hospitals, and other public service facilities. In Fujian province alone, Typhoon Gaimi resulted in the direct economic loss of about $220 million. Some political news from the United States now. Kamalaharris is expected to announce a vice presidential running mate in the upcoming days. Influential Democratic figures have indicated that the announcement will be made before the National Convention to be held in Chicago next month. Key potential candidates under consideration include Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. The choice is seen as crucial, shaping the campaign strategy against Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. In another news, President Joe Biden has called for significant reforms to the US Supreme Court, citing concerns about extremism and lack of public confidence. He proposed term limits for justices and a code of ethics to address the issues of transparency and accountability. Biden also advocated for a constitutional amendment to limit presidential immunity. His proposals are aimed at addressing the perceived abuses of power and restoring trust in the judiciary, though they face challenges in a divided Congress with limited time before the election. Meanwhile, Elon Musk has landed himself in another controversy. This time it's for sharing a manipulated video of US Vice President Kamala Harris on his platform X. The video, which features a false voiceover criticizing Harris, has been condemned by tech campaigners for violating platform's policy against misleading media. Now, Musk's action has raised concerns about the impact of AI-driven disinformation ahead of the US election. So that's it for the top stories today. Stay tuned to India Today Global for more such updates.